There was one other question that was a very good one that came up during the break. What about the child who you have to prepare for school where no one's going to be following their lead? You know, how do you get the child ready for the harsh world of discipline, following orders, and beating to someone else's drum? Because all this following their lead is going to give them the wrong idea. This is a tough world where you got to follow orders. I'm being a little facetious and kibitzing a little bit. Here's the key thing. That if you follow the child's lead and you help the child master the 6 milestones, and you get a child where they can answer why questions and be reflective, now you have a child who you can negotiate with both through gestures and through words. And even if you can't get a child to the level where they can reflect verbally and solve problems verbally, so you can reason with them, if you get them to the point of co-regulated reciprocal emotional interaction, where they're doing 50, 60 circles in a row, you can negotiate through gestures. So now we have a flexible rather than rigid child, a child who can read and respond to gestures, understand where other people are coming from. They can be part of a two-way social system, with words or without words. They can also be part of a small group because they can read other people's intentions. That is what prepares them for school. You can't be prepared for school with just without that kind of understanding, because you've got to deal flexibly. I mean, you can be prepared for certain school contexts, but not for a challenging one. So you need to have that. Now, once you're a two-way communicator and you can do it with words and with being able to reason and build bridges between ideas, you can then follow directions, you can then follow the rules, you can then interact with people where they're not following your lead. So the following the lead is a vehicle for mastering these functional emotional developmental milestones. Now, that doesn't, having said that, and it is by far one of the critical vehicles for doing that, because it gets the child mobilized and you get the affect cooking. But once you've mastered the milestones, then you have a flexible child who then needs to adapt in a variety of settings, including following other people's rules, being quiet in church, listening to the teacher, following directions, doing the homework. But that's, if you look at what happens in typical development, kids come to school, if they're going to succeed, with the skills for being a two-way communicator, for reasoning things out. And then they learn in school to be a little more disciplined, and you have to be patient, you have to do a little more sitting than you should, etc. But the point of the matter is you need these skills to be able to deal with a challenging environment. And then you can begin fine-tuning in terms of the others. So then, depending on your family culture, depending on the school you're at, depending on other factors, you may have to spend a lot of time following other people's rules. And you can learn that because now you can reason and you're part of a two-way co-regulated interactive system.